just think it has to happen to someone, or someone has to be part of it, because nature as a whole, I don't think wolves have intrigue. Like, you know,
like chameleons, maybe.
Yeah.
It's like if there's an intrigue in a forest and no one's around to be intrigued,
is it an intrigue? Clap, clap. We said.
What?
So we watched this stupid movie when I was resting for my surgery, and it was called SEAL Team, and it's a team of SEALs that are like SEAL Team 6 or whatever.
Right.
And they went back to their island, and they had Seal, the actual singer, Seal, as a SEAL. And he's like, okay, now I'm going to sing a song for you guys and everything. And here we thought we were going to sing Kiss from a Rose or something like this. And here I'm trying not to like laugh, cry, sneeze, or do anything that would affect my nose. And then he just goes, all right, like this, like the whole time. And I just die laughing because it was so out of the blue.
Why were you watching comedy?
We didn't know what it was going to be.
Because it was just like an animated film, and I thought it was going to be like a dumb kid's film. And I'm just going to be like, it's such, I'm going to put it in here because it's such a stupid scene.
It was amazing.
God, it was great.
To all to sing along. Say, arf, 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 arf. Now say, arf, 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 arf.
Because you know how you can like look up like people who were in a movie like via IMDb?
Yeah.
And so I looked it up for other reasons, and we wanted to keep watching because there was another voice actor in there that I was like, whoa, I want to get to see him. And then I saw that Seal was in it, and I was like, oh no, this is going to be great.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So the intrigue was real.
It was real. There's a mystery in that one. That
It's like
dumb. But yeah.
That's not some Scooby crap.
Yeah. Is Scooby-Doo Cloak and Dagger?
Yeah. Speaking of Cloak and Dagger, that's what we're talking about today, guys.
Yeah.
And welcome to Bards and Balladeers podcast, the podcast that's all about story in all its forms. I'm Usger. I write historical fiction, little sci-fi, fantasy, nonfiction.
Yeah.
You guys.
Oh, you. No, you.
I'm Kate.
I am Rio, and
I'm Kate. Lovingly in love with Rio.
every day of your life.
And I write sci-fi. I write fantasy. I am also a musician. Forgot to mention that last week.
Yeah. Perpetually.
Oh yeah. So I just create, anything.
Yeah. And I am Rio. I'm a fantasy author, comic book curator now. Like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like alliteration too. I'm a very astute and amazing alliteration tour. Don't make me do work. Stop swearing.
She finished it for you.
Yeah. Well, they know it's an A word, so it could be a lot of things.
That's true.
But yeah, so we're just a trio of friends who decided to make a podcast and talk about our craft and hopefully try to get better at it as we do.
Yeah. You can find us at our website, which is bardsandballadeerspodcast.com. And yeah, like find us on YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Amazon Music, or follow us on Discord and talk to us about all the silly things. See all the silly memes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Go in detail with us on all these topics because we're nerds. We like it.
And then you can watch my wife call me asshole there too.
Yeah.
You can see that content kind of anywhere.
All right.
But yeah, like the links will be in the description below. We'll see if we can get them all in there.
Yeah, most of them are there.
Oh,
at least the Discord one are Bards and Balladeers, and then our link trees.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And then
me.
not your link tree. Yeah.
So you can see more.
To your website.
Ancient.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have anything coming up that we have decided on. The live stream we keep talking about, we're still sort of
probably happened. It happened. Totally happened.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just do it one night, right?
Yeah.
And we won't tell anyone.
Yeah. See who shows up. Our true fans.
We're gonna get a bot farm and
help our numbers.
Have them watch us and ask us. Bots will ask us questions. There's a reversal.
What do you think of politics in America?
But yeah, so today we're talking about intrigue, Cloak and Dagger, and
not Dagger and Cloak because that's something different.
Yeah, and it's also the wrong order.
Yeah. Why is it Cloak and Dagger?
Order to things.
Alphabetical?
Oh,
syllable?
Syllable?
Syllabic?
I think somebody
that's
probably
not it.
just decided it one.
Yeah, I know. It sounds right, right?
Yeah. Cloak is where you keep your dagger.
Rump is where.
Yeah. But yeah, like, it's good, I think, to define intrigue because it is kind of distinctly different from mystery. And so it's sort of like, it's kind of like when characters manipulate others to get their way, manipulate situations, other people, secret keeping, things like that. Mystery can be just not knowing a thing. Like, let's solve this mystery. Like, who killed this guy? There might not even be anyone trying to hide anything. You just have to solve a mystery. Or even if there is, it's just like, there's not like these, think of like factions trying to get one over on each other, get their own way, like push for their agenda. Mm-hmm. And you might have a little intrigue in your average mystery, but mystery and intrigue just aren't the same thing. I don't know what you guys think about that.
You might hear it as political intrigue as well. Right.
I was going to say, is it more like espionage and like spies? Is that, would you say that's a primary, like, catch-all for it? Like
the primary venue where you see it, if you know, like, I think you see that a lot, but not necessarily. Like there'll be social intrigues where, like friends are all like just kind of stabbing each other in the back.
Oh, sure.
Like, I mean, I'm not speaking from experience. Like, I just mean someone might do that.
But I think spies can be, or espionage can be a portion of it. Sure. Like it's not the entirety of the genre, but.
Well, because Cloak and Dagger to me is that very subterfuge, that very much like, we're going to do something to cause damage. And I guess to your point, that could be like intersocial, like or whatever, but it's something to cause harm in some way or to take and make the other less. Like, at least that's what I feel like.
It's sort of like, sort of exploiting zero-sum games. Zero-sum game is like, if I win something, someone else has to lose something.
Sure.
And so like, how do I get the most? Well, like make other people lose.
I thought zero-sum was when everyone loses.
No, that's zero-sum is like, that's like worse than zero-sum. But like zero-sum is where you add over here, you have to subtract over
Gotcha, because it evens out. Yep.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And it's balancing an equation.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's all math, really.
Everything's math.
This podcast is about math.
This is. No.
Oh
Just
God,
that flashback. I've never seen a Vietnam flashback happen to math before.
It's actually the breathing intensifies gif. You know what I'm talking about. With the vein
and just like
the little beads of sweat.
The cat, yeah.
Oh, what's that?
Actually, just used that one today.
Did you really?
Several times. Yeah.
It's like speaking of Cloak and Dagger, Total Recall actually is a really good version of that. If you've seen Total Recall, haven't you?
I have not.
Have you not?
I
don't think you have seen. No,
I haven't, but
there's a wonderful scene in Total Recall where he doesn't know if he's in this fancy world hooked up to a machine or if he actually went to Mars and all this stuff is happening to him. Intrigue about like aliens and stuff like that, whether or not they're the ones who kind of like lived on Mars at one point. Anyways, this guy comes in and says, "I'm not really here. I'm in the facility back here. This is a projected and everything. If you kill me, nothing will happen. And I won't blink an eye and everything." And he goes through this whole thing trying to convince Arnold Schwarzenegger that he is in this fake world. And Arnold's like, "No, that's not possible." And he looks at the guy and he's just like, "No, it is possible," and everything. And then you see the guy and you just see that one bead of sweat. And then that's how Arnold knows, like, you're lying and shoots him and everything. Yeah, it's fantastic scene. Like, the movie is whatever,
you
good
lying to me.
Tell me the truth.
And I think one of the things that you wrote down, Oscar, too, I'm going to say it before anybody else can, is because I really liked the quote because I think it helped me kind of get this too. And similar to like that example, I feel like it is. Yeah. If strategy is the arms and legs of battle, intrigue is the fingers and toes. Did I say that correctly? Yeah. Did I write it down correctly? Okay. Yeah. That's always part of the
stenographer.
The struggle. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, in a struggle, we call it a battle, but like some kind of struggle. If strategy is the arms and legs of it, intrigue is the fingers and toes. So it's sort of like a more individualistic sort of strategy. Strategy is often about big groups of people trying to accomplish a thing, teams, whatever. Excuse me. But like it's usually intrigue you see often much more often with individuals, maybe small groups or whatever. But it's often personal agendas. or political agendas, things like that.
Which become personal agendas.
Right. It's like one person acting on their group political agenda or something like that. Just, usually things that happen behind closed doors or manipulating secrets, keeping secrets, it's usually more effective if it involves as few people as possible. So I think that's why you get that with intrigue is so heavily flavored by individuality and, the lone wolf kind of mentality.
Right. Which I feel like, why some people might not have enjoyed Rogue One as much because more heavily intrigue versus the rest of Star Wars being space opera.
And space wizards and some of that,
and stuff.
Where everything's pretty much above board except for, the good guys can keep secrets because they're good. And the bad guys are keeping secrets because they're evil.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's an intrigue.
Very black and white,
Yeah, an intrigue, it's much more gray where almost everybody is keeping secrets. But the good versus the bad is just whoever your hero is.
Right. Or whatever side you're on. Yeah.
Well, and even going back to last week a little bit, I don't know that if Rogue One would have been as popular in the 80s when Star Wars came out.
Agreed.
Oh, sure. Because they very much set the tone, going back to our other, thing, they set the tone in that. And this Rogue One is kind of like in that universe, but very far detached from that the fun action adventure that, Star Wars is.
But it is a very popular Star Wars movie. And I think it found the right audience. Because this audience, the modern audiences are ready for those shades of gray and the intrigue and for things to not be so black and white and good guys, bad guys, all the stormtroopers, they're just faceless, killable people.
Yeah.
Similarly, the difference between Captain America, the First Avenger, and Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Sure.
You're not a huge fan of Marvel.
I haven't seen those.
Yeah.
Captain America, First Avenger is World War II propaganda film, like our hero, Captain America
and do no wrong,
and he's tragic, falling. And whereas Winter Soldier is about his best buddy becoming this very extremely nefarious entity, basically.
Right.
And how do you bridge the gap between this is my friend, but he's also being used for evil?
And also what SHIELD was and what they thought it was and how that is actually them trying to say that we can pick out who's going to do something bad. It's kind of like Minority Report, which you probably haven't seen, but where it's just like, well, we can have justice rain down from anywhere in the world through these big aircraft carriers, like flying aircraft carriers. So it's like, so you have all the power and you now get to be judge, jury, and executioner. And they decide that they're the good guys, so it's okay.
So sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. No, go ahead.
No. So I don't want to veer too much. My example kind of veered a little bit past the intrigue, but just the intrigue is very like you said during our brainstorming sessions, much more interpersonal,
right?
Versus mystery kind of being extra personal. What's the opposite?
It could be anything, like ghost stories or mysteries.
Like anytime you need to find out something that happened, that there doesn't have to be any personal element to it. Now, it doesn't mean there is never and that there's never intrigue and mystery. It's just that mystery, I think, is a broader sort of thing, and people aren't necessarily trying to push an agenda or exploit. They might be trying to stay alive, but I think that intrigue is not usually something people think of in terms of survival. They think of it in terms of it as improving their position.
Sure.
And I think that's why, there's that literal instance of in World War II, D-Day was being planned, and the Germans knew, they're going to invade. I mean, they can't ship a bunch of American troops to Britain and I wonder
what they're going to do. Yeah.
But it was a question of when and where.
Sure.
And also how.
Yeah.
And they didn't know when or where, but they knew it would be soon. And so the British pulled this intrigue. The British and Americans pulled this intrigue. They had a couple of different things, but one of the things they had was a spy who was actually a double agent.
Yeah.
So he was feeding the Germans this information, and some of the things he told them turned out to be true. And so then they knew they could trust him.
Sure. Yeah.
And so then he told them, okay, like these troops are mustering, they're to head to Calais or whatever. I forget how he knew all that, but
Sure.
like as evidence, like how do we make this believable? He's like, well, he said, I saw them loading vomit bags for the journey. So they're coming by sea over here. And it's like they're passing these out. That's how I know. And he managed to completely fool them because he'd stored up credibility for his correct information. So they actually landed at a different place in Normandy instead of Calais. And Rommel was, he's still like waiting for the attack. And he's like, how accurate is this information? Like, it's very reliable. This guy's come through for us before.
Yeah. Yep.
And so it made a big difference to like how much the defenses were beefed up in that area. I mean, they were still pretty solid, but
not as well as they should have been.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that was an intrigue. And it came down to one guy who was a double agent.
Yeah.
So he's working with a bunch of people. He's working with a whole office full of people. But that's sort of like improving your position, almost like your military position.
Right. Right.
It's getting across the chessboard, not finding out what's on the other side.
And it's part of a broader strategy in that example. But that part that's why it's the fingers and toes and the arms and
Sure.
It's achieved by like, individuals, small groups.
Right.
So one small act can make a big difference.
I almost think when you guys are talking, tell me if you agree with me on this. It's like a lot of intrigue comes from a lot of drama, and a lot of like procedural dramas and like cop dramas and like courtroom dramas, because I really feel like courtrooms are like some of those pinnacles of like both sides have to pretend that they're right, and they both had to figure out what the other person has or how to, outplay that other person, like it's, and
how
then
to leverage the system against the other.
That too. Yeah.
Which I think we have an episode coming up soon on
courtrooms,
institutions and bureaucracy.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So that's going to be a few weeks down the road, but it's like leveraging the tools available, which often it's sort of like, anyone who's played D&D, like what's lawful evil? How does lawful evil get anything done? They leverage the law to commit evil. That's what they do.
So they don't get in trouble. Yeah. So it's just interesting because I think that's why people like those things, because they want to see how people are going to get out of it when it looks like it's impossible for them to, because they have all this evidence against them. But like, it's kind of like a liar. I hate bringing that thing over. It's just like he had to find out, even though he couldn't lie, he had to find out how he was going to like win this court battle by only telling the truth and everything. And he's like, oh, wait, she was underage when she did this or whatever. And that's why it makes this not legal and what have you. And it works because you don't know how people are going to get out of it. Like that's a big thing,
Right. It's all about, it's not even all about lying. It's about leveraging.
Yeah.
And so, that's why he's so like going insane that he can't lie, is because lying is one of the main tools of leveraging systems. Is like this is why I think also you get a lot more individuals in intrigue, is because those who want to leverage to improve their position, a lot of the time, like that's the MO of narcissists.
Sure.
And narcissists generally work alone. They might exploit other people, but they usually are pushing a personal agenda because they're not really team players so much. And even when they are, it's like temporary to push a personal agenda.
Yeah.
Right.
So ultimately the goal is an individual goal in those cases.
Right.
And so the people who tend to be really good at it tend to be like there's more often a tendency towards narcissism, or at least individualism.
Or like even into the fact that like I keep thinking about like the stereotypical spy, or even like ninjas, or like just very highly specialized people who they're the only ones who can get in there and do it. Like, Snake Plissken from like Escape from LA, or Metal Gear Solid's, Snake, and again, Japanese ninja, stuff like that. Like they have to do things undercover, or in a way that they will not be like seen, to either like get doubt away from the person who hired them, or like just do a special thing so something worse won't happen, especially if they're the good guys, right? And I find that like that specialized soldier is a big thing with Cloak and Dagger too.
Yeah, well, and we talked about this movie with our competence porn episode, Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
That's intrigue after intrigue after intrigue. It is all in the name of one strategy, one goal.
Yeah.
But it's all like each of these characters has a special set of skills.
Yeah.
Taken or something. They have a special set of skills. And they each have a part to play. They each have a particular intrigue to pull that the next intrigue depends on.
Right.
And all of it builds towards this one goal.
Right.
Which isn't just getting the money, it's getting the money and getting away with it.
Right. And the revenge of it too, sometimes, like, or the reasons behind it also important.
The revenge was for the main guy. I forget his name.
George Clooney.
George Clooney, Esquire.
Yeah. He doesn't actually have a name.
That was his personal goal. And most of the people in that film have a large narcissistic streak. Even if they're not straight up narcissists, like that was his personal goal. In addition to the money, but and
it was a thing that inspired all of them to get together. Because maybe we don't have to get into this, but did they all know that was his goal?
I don't think so. Because I think that's the thing that like they're just in it for their part and their payouts. Mm-hmm. But if
they don't care and they don't need to know to be able to do their thing.
I think Brad Pitt suspected and no one else really knew.
Yeah. Only because he was a close friend, right?
Right.
And he trusted him and he wanted the money.
Yeah.
Right.
So hidden agendas.
Yeah.
It is very much an integral part of intrigue.
Yeah.
Yeah. And hidden agendas are, they're a huge part of family dynamics too, a lot of the time in dysfunctional families.
Well,
and some functional families.
I was going to say the parents had to keep some of the stuff to protect their children to a certain point. You got to protect them from the world. So you don't tell them, but the kids are curious. They're going to want to know.
But they're like, anyone ever been put through a guilt trip?
Yeah.
That's a kind of leveraging like a tool to get your way.
Yeah.
Manipulation.
Yeah. Manipulations.
Mm-hmm.
I had manipulations once. I got medicine for it.
I think that's one of the main things that separates it from mystery. It was like just the manipulation.
Sure.
Oh. Ooh, I mean, again, good point.
Mystery. Yeah. Well, mystery is again the coverall. I feel like it's just
Cloak and Dagger. Broader umbrella.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
why my book should be in the mystery section too? No.
I mean, it's such a weird thing because, like, how do you define your books? You get put in the one that it's mostly, it's just like it's mostly action, it's mostly sci-fi, or whatever,
Yeah, it's mostly good.
We all go through this with every book. It's like, okay, well, what categories can I put this in? But we won't. We'll do stuff later. Someday we'll do it as a thing on behind the scenes professional crap. But
right.
I mean, and I think, again, and I talked about this a little bit more already, but like drama does this very well because it's usually drama because it's usually like, I feel like a slow burn, unless it's an action, like again with ninjas or something like that. But it's just like, I feel people, when they want intrigue, you can't just like throw it at them and just like, something happens and this happens. And like, maybe it's this or misdirection, it's just like this slow dramatic thing.
Yeah. It's a slower kind of, it's a different kind of dopamine hit because each time you see somebody get further because they pulled some piece of a successful intrigue, that's a dopamine hit.
Sure.
But then the overall thing, when it finally works out, it's like, oh, this was great. I have a lot of it in my own stuff. Like it's one of the main things I tout in my own work was my pirate novels is the intrigue. And I know there's a lot in the second book. I mean, there's a reason it's called True Colors because sailing under false colors is manipulation. It's a form of intrigue. It's done to make other people think that you're a ship of this nation when you're actually of another nation or a pirate or something like that. And so it's like that sort of thing. It's all about intrigue.
Right. And the good question is too, is like, we've seen a lot of it and we know, I feel like what it is, but when is it done like poorly? Like, when has it done to an extent where it's just like, well, that was just a poor payoff or something like that. Have you seen it?
We're experiencing that right now. It's sort of like when the most common thing I see isn't even when it's executed poorly. It's when the person gets their way and you're like, did that benefit you? Like where it's like they misjudged what they wanted.
The character or just like the story in general?
Usually, I guess the character, if it's like a real person pulling an
Sure.
intrigue, then the character,
Sure.
then the person. But if you're reading a story and you're like, oh, they got their way and who cares?
Oh,
then,
sure.
You know, if that's your reaction, like, okay, congrats on. I feel that way on April Fool's Day a lot, you know? You ever experience this? It's April Fool's Day and someone tells you a completely plausible lie and you believe it. And then they're like, April Fool. You're like,
It
that's
wasn't
not
a joke. That was
talent.
just mean.
Well, like
like-
I had an Oreo with toothpaste one, so that was the worst thing ever.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
That was a family member, wasn't it?
No, you know what that was? Your favorite employee, Brittany.
Stop it.
I
Okay, it's a little funny now.
I had my own April Fool's joke that I wouldn't I've wanted to do, but I'm not going to do.
Oh.
It's just, it also involves toothpaste.
Oh, geez, really?
Yeah, it's like just baking a perfectly normal cake and frosting it with toothpaste
Oh, man.
and leaving it in the break room.
And then, like, not say anything. Like,
Yeah,
you wanted a piece of
Hey,
cake.
it's cake.
Yeah.
You trust us, right?
That's
Yeah.
kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
Don't use Aquafresh. It'll be a dead giveaway.
Because
Oh
of
my
the
gosh.
red line in between.
The problem is like someone will be like, I'm allergic to mint, or there'll be something. And like,
Yeah. And then you get called HR.
or
Mhm.
sued.
I read somebody told me one recently that it's you put a sign on the printer saying this is now voice activated.
Yes, I've seen that. Just say print documents. And you just hear, you're just sitting in your office like, print documents.
Because my desk is right next to the printer
Yeah.
too, and I want somebody to do it so badly. But that would not be intrigue. That would just be
It's a
mystery. That is that's
That's
just
right.
prank.
Yeah.
Well, like, isn't that a part of intrigue too? Is when you have something that you just don't understand, or that you want, and you kind of want to like understand more. It's like going into hearing the noise in the tunnel, and then like wondering what it is, or being
that's
enticed.
mystery then.
Well, wouldn't you be intrigued by the like mystery of
You'd be
the?
curious,
Yeah,
you know.
I'm intrigued.
I'm finding that you're bringing up a good point. Is when we first started talking about this, there is a difference between the like verb intrigue and the noun intrigue that you're talking about. Right. Yeah. And with that,
The
I
feeling
think-
of intrigue is it's that feeling of not knowing what's going on, but like the desire to solve it or find out or something like that. So sort of like detectives, they like intrigue.
Yeah.
They want to solve the things. They want to find out. They're intrigued by intrigues. So they feel the the verb about the noun.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by intrigue.
right.
Yeah.
Hope you're enjoying the podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Our Discord link is in the description below. Please hit the notification bell to get updates on our latest work. And now back to the show.
One of our friends told you when I went under that she should have hired someone that looks like her and that's older, and it comes like, you've been in a coma for like 20 years or whatever. Like,
I feel like I want to do it so badly.
yeah,
A good prank.
a good prank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have been intrigued.
Yeah. I think one thing that separates a prank from intrigue is with a prank, you're not improving your position. You're manipulating somebody to get a laugh,
Yeah.
not to improve, like not to push an agenda. Or it's like, yeah, it's for a goal, but it's not really for an agenda.
Right.
Mhm.
You know,
It's that instant of like
Yeah.
gratification for it. And just
Yeah.
like,
Right.
it's like,
That's usually the extent of laughter, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I like this. So intrigue versus mystery versus pranks versus
Yeah.
like sort of comedy gotcha writing.
right.
And-
it all involves keeping secrets.
It does. It really
and
does.
Misdirecting.
And I think that like so you have it in your stories. I do in a way, but I've never thought about it as intrigue. It's borderline political intrigue if we're thinking about or institutional intrigue, let's say. I can't explain it any better way. Do you have any in yours?
For sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, that's a central part of your first book.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Oh.
true. Well, knowing what, like, who these people who have some control over the crystals and their manipulation of it and all the
Manipulation.
manipulation. Also,
I see now.
yeah, but also
Okay.
like the Yakari and their like need to fix their dying race and everything. And
Mm.
and in the future, there's going to be the next book is the the Revolt, and they're like basically the sector of people who are trying to keep another secret at bay. So there's like 3 different like mysteries that are all going to kind of come into play. Intrigue is.
Mm-hmm. And so, like, did you guys? No, I'm going to ask the questions.
Really?
Did you guys plan these intrigues, or did they sort of just happen as you naturally built the world, built the characters?
I'm very smart.
Finding, what the characters wanted. Yes, very smart. Dude. Was it Princess Bride? Yes, you're very smart. Now shut up. I'm just kidding.
It makes for a terrible podcast. Everyone shut up.
But like, did it just happen organically, or was the intrigue like, I need this to be a successful story?
I mean, mine was a game I ran first. And as a pirate game, you're always trying to take stuff that's not yours.
Mm-hmm.
And so you've got to like optimize the conditions where that can happen, which usually is affected. It's often affected through intrigue. Other times, like strategy or whatever. But I mean, there's just stealing a ship. Like, I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything in book 2, but like, just stealing a ship that's not yours because you convinced people of something. That's definitely an intrigue. And like, so that just was part of the story for my story. But like, sure. I run other stories that way too. Like, like games I've run or whatever, like Lord of the Rings, I've run that as an RPG. I've run Shadow World, and I tend to have bigger plots. And so there's always something politically going on, or, hey, these guys are about to attack. Like, how do we set up a decoy, And again, that kind of, it's like that overlap between strategy and intrigue, but it's kind of like, you were just talking about like the mysteries in your stories.
Yeah.
You called the mysteries and she said intrigues, but it's like, these are all like group agendas, but I'm guessing, I've only read one, that individuals do specific things to carry them forward. It's sort of like if you have an ideology, like, we want to take over this land or something, like that can be an agenda, and individuals can push that. Like propaganda can be like an example of that.
Right.
Individuals can push propaganda by like creating false evidence. So they're actually, perpetrating like an intrigue. So
I'm going to propose something.
It's like a misdirection.
And I do agree with you. And it's one of those things where, like you said, the people are the fingers, right? And I really think that intrigue only happens to an individual because like somebody has to be intrigued by something for it to be an intrigue. To be just a mystery of the world is just a mystery. Like, we don't know why gravity exists. It's a mystery of the world. Somebody could be intrigued by the fact that gravity exists and everything, but I really feel like intrigue has to be perpetuated by the people who do not know why it exists and want to know why, and whether or not that's for their benefit or for the benefit of others or to the detriment of others. I really think that's what it is, because people can be intrigued by anything, like even the pioneering spirit, even like wanting to go on a journey, like the unknown can intrigue somebody. Like, just to want to go out and go climb a mountain no one's ever climbed, or to go past, the sea and see what's on the other side of the sea.
I would say it's to it's to manipulate someone's wanting to know. Like, you can make people who might want to know something not know something.
Right. That too.
So like preventing their intrigue.
Fair enough. Yeah. Preventing their knowledge of the thing.
That's the classic deflection or decoy kind of strategy. Like, oh, there's nothing over there. That's what camouflage is for.
I just think it has to happen to someone, or someone has to be part of it, because nature as a whole, I don't think wolves have intrigue. Like,
like chameleons, maybe.
Yeah.
It's like if there's an intrigue in a forest and no one's around to be intrigued,
is it an intrigue? I need that on a shirt. That's the clip. Yep. But
it's an intriguing topic.
It is.
I also think that there needs to be some aspect of control as well.
In what way?
And like something to be controlled, or
usually information.
Yeah. Information of like a secret that you have, or a secret that's trying to be preserved, or an agenda that's trying to be
You're trying to
perpetuated.
manipulate reality to seem like more than it is or less than it is.
Yeah.
Something
Sure.
different than it is. And that's all about control.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
And that's why I've generally found that the most controlling people, they often like, they have agendas they're pushing that they're like, no, if people just knew, then they would be okay with it or whatever.
Then you come to like conspiracy theorists, but then again, that's kind of like part of an intrigue, right? Because they're just like, we know something you don't and everything. And if you follow us, we can all figure this out and we can, out everybody at once. Like there's a secret cabal of like, puppet masters and some of that.
Sometimes it's a prank like Scientology.
Money.
I can create a religion. Watch me.
I mean, you can even go multi-level marketing if you want to go that route too. It's just like you could possibly make money. See how, and like
you may already be a winner.
yeah. Publishers Clearinghouse, didn't they go out of business?
I think so.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Wait, didn't they still owe people money too? Like it was like a yearly thing that they were paying people out.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
I haven't read the skinny. Like I wasn't intrigued enough to like read up on it.
Yeah, it's another thing. Clickbaity titles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Malware.
Sure. Yeah.
Malware is like that's an intrigue.
Yeah.
With that said, I guess because my next question is, what world building elements can we use to further intrigue? So, I mean, I actually don't know what malware is. I'm going to be honest, but I know what multi-level marketing things are and conspiracy theories and like adding elements like that into our world building. I guess I don't think those are world building.
They could be
things, but potentially.
Yeah.
Well, I know Shadow World, which is the game I've run the most, has certain character classes like Illusionist and Mystic. Mystics are usually the ones who like they'd be like shape changers or like it's all about obfuscation. Like,
Sure.
like changing faces or shapes or sizes, like infiltration and obfuscation. It's all misdirect, and so there are classes built specifically for intrigue. And so it's really easy to like build organizations around like, okay, we're this kind of organization. We've got our agents that do these things. If you're an agent, it's better if you're this class or that class.
Sure.
So magic being a tool.
Sure.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I do think that's a fun point then. Like which came first, the chicken or the egg? I just said egg. Egg. If you create a character that is a spy, you then need to create the regime that spy like stands for. Yeah. And
or you cooperate with the game master, to do that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if
he is the organization.
But if you're someone who starts a story with characters, like you're not doing a game or something, you're like, okay, I want to make this kind of character, this spy character. Yeah. Now I have to create the setting that enables them to actually use that.
Right. Which I won't lie. That's how I created one of the big like evil like entities in my story, because I knew that it needed to exist because these characters were part of something that had agendas. So I don't know, but it's sort of like a what is it called when you like structure something backwards?
Reverse engineering.
Thank you.
Oh,
wow.
nice.
Well done.
Wow.
I am a reverse engineer.
Yeah.
That's why I forgot all my math.
We make it work.
Yeah.
But it sounds like there can be quite a bit you can do world building wise to make this fit in your story. And I think a lot of stories do have more intrigue than we think they do.
Even Lord of the Rings, which comes across as a very straightforward black and white good versus evil story, it has intrigue.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to like trot that out every week, but
Denethor and the tomato. Sorry.
Jihad, when the walls came down.
I know there's a lost characters. Well, to use other examples that are tired, there's like a con man character.
Okay.
So, like con man is like a classic example of someone who's always pulling intrigues to improve position or get something. And it was interesting what they did with that character, because he's even with social information, he never lets anybody know anything. It's not just he like scavenges all the stuff. His name is Sawyer in the show. He scavenges all this stuff. And people come to him to get the stuff because he actually went to the trouble of salvaging it from all the dead bodies and stuff. And other people are like, oh, stuff.
They're not real
He's
dead.
He's like, whatever, I want the stuff.
Yeah.
Then I'll control the flow of things.
Mm.
So sometimes he will trade stuff for information. Sometimes he'll trade information for stuff. But he never even gives out information without something to gain.
Sure.
Until like one episode where he's like, he thinks he's gonna like leave, whatever. He's gonna like probably die. And there's something that somebody really wants to know. It doesn't really cost him anything.
Mm.
It's just he was still hanging on to it to see if he could get more out of it. Probably. They don't make that clear, but that's his character.
Sure.
And then finally he's like, well, there's nothing left for me to get from this. I will just tell the person. And it's like, oh, that was so nice. But it's like, yeah, but it would have been nicer if he just like,
was that a character development thing for him, or was he just doing it
because he just didn't care anymore? Yeah.
I think it was a character development thing because you don't actually know. This is the thing. He also doesn't share feelings without getting something. So he won't let people know if he likes them or not or respects them. It's like that sort of character that feels like if they give anything away, that like you said, zero sum game. If you lose something, someone else gains something.
Right.
If you gain something, someone else loses something. So if he's giving something away, he's losing something. And he's creating an advantage for somebody else.
I was going to say that because it's mostly like when you give information or you give something that like that, it's giving power to that person because you no longer have the power of that secret, you know?
Right.
So that's just a way that people maintain. Like I've always like joked, like I know too many secrets about people that I never wanted to know. And it just like, it's like, I will never use them for any reason, but it's just like, I don't want them. Like, you know, cause I don't want that responsibility. Honestly, that's what it is. And it's just
open
like,
out of that.
yeah, open out of that. Yeah. So it's just, and I think that's fantastic. And I also think that intrigue and Cloak and Dagger and subterfuge and all that stuff is just fun to us because we're never privy to that stuff in real life, you know? And I mean, that's fantasy and sci-fi all together and, you know, speculative fiction. It's just that we want that subterfuge because we want to know what it's like to be a spy. We want to know what it's like to rob a bank, you know, or whatever.
Well, and it's fun, especially, I know this is one thing. It's not everybody who reads this stuff, but a lot of people feel disempowered.
Sure.
And sometimes it can be fun to like read stories where certain people feel empowered. And that's one of the, again, it's about getting control, you know?
Yeah.
So one way that people who feel out of control gain control is to, perpetrate intrigues, like manipulate things, manipulate people. And sometimes, you know, if you don't actually want to do those things, it can be cool just to see it play out, just to watch the mechanic.
Yeah.
And that's why people like that sort of stuff. That's one reason people like that sort of stuff.
Like you said, it's kind of cathartic just to watch somebody like revenge stories.
Yeah.
Like, you know, especially if you're learning about what the revenge was and why they're doing it.
Right.
It's kind of fun to watch like Punisher and go punish people. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Well, and even just, there's the rebellion, like anti-institutional rebellion, like, well, Star Wars or any other number of things where you're like, okay, I don't mind what this person is doing as much because they're fighting this evil system or something.
Right.
Yeah. And so you'll see just intrigues abound in situations like that.
Yeah.
And I had some specific example.
That's okay. Is it about Lost?
No.
Sawyer.
Sorry.
It's not.
You know, one of the things I was thinking about as you guys are talking about, this is where my mind goes sometimes. I feel like beauty and the promise of sex and stuff like that is very much an intrigue, especially when people are presented as like either in like brothels or like the sirens, like in like old Odyssey. It's just like that intrigue of possible like being to be with a beautiful woman or stuff like that, you know, or what do they hold or what will that experience and that encounter be like, you know, that for, I think a lot of this, the most primal like version of that is sex, like, you know, and lingerie is the lie that they portray, you know, into like, you know,
I mean, it's actually one of the motivations, for some intrigue.
Sure.
Like, you ever heard of people who like pretend to have all kinds of money and resources?
Yeah.
Just to like sort of raise the bracket on the people they can be with.
Right. See the lie their way into sleeping with somebody. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
That's the thing. It's a real thing.
Makeup, but you know,
I don't disagree.
you know, but it's almost like we all just kind of agree to lie because we want to see how good people can actually do it. Like how 'cause I've seen people who put some makeup on, they're fantastic, transformative and everything, but it's also like, how good are you at like pickup lines? You know, it's just like,
You know, it's interesting because I used to drive for Uber and Lyft, and I did late shifts. I did Friday night, Saturday night, 12-hour shifts.
damn.
And one of the things that would happen, not like a few hours before I would stop Friday and Saturday nights, is driving. I've driven people home from strip clubs.
Sure.
And then I've driven the dancers home like an hour later. And it's interesting because like the dancers, they spend a little extra time in there, like de-dancerifying themselves.
Sure.
Right.
And a lot of the time they come out, they're like in regular clothes and they look like normal ass people.
Sure, yeah.
They're not like, oh my God, you're stunning. It's like, this is just a normal person.
Yeah.
But, you know, like who knows how like to create that illusion.
Yeah.
It's really kind of fascinating.
Like a mystic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The mystic makeup.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It's true.
Or also just like, I guess to that point, atmosphere can really create a lot of intrigue and everything, because think of like walking to a shady bar and then walking into like a wonderful like hotel with a beautiful like bar that has like chandeliers and glass everywhere and mirrors and everything and low lights and everything. And it's just like the person who's in there is glowing from all these things. And you kind of are, again, not tricked by it, but it's almost like they always make a joke. It's like once it's 3:00 and lights come on and you see who you're next to, you're like, oh my God, like, you know, the intrigue is gone. Like,
Right.
You know, it's funny. I actually described in detail like 2 or 3 bars,
Okay.
like pubs in my stories.
Really?
That are really kind of where people go to hear the stories or where a lot of intrigue happens.
Sure.
Like there's one
And Port
towards the end of
Royal.
book 2 where it's like, you know, everything's dark. Except like the light is strategically used. Not like, you know, it's not like nefarious. It's just like, yeah, this is a good environment for this.
Yeah.
But all the people, like they're always like greeting every newcomer. So
Sure.
it's like socially very open and welcoming. But the atmosphere is like, it's sort of like, you know, let's cling to each other in the darkness.
Sure.
Like there's light here and light there. And,
Yeah.
you know, but it's really where a lot of people go to like, you know, hear the intrigue and
Well,
get involved in intrigues.
where Roy was in Port Royal and then listening, you know, trying to find a new, some new crew members, but listening to the 2 Spaniards talk and everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's
Yeah. I've read your butt. Yeah.
Getting there. Yep. But it's funny as you guys started talking about that, I made a note because as we were talking about earlier things like what needs to be included in intrigue, we had a note that overall intrigue is a 4th leg element. So like a storytelling element.
Oh, sure.
But I made a note. I was like, but it's sounding like plot to me. But as you two are discussing like those pieces right there, I'm like, gosh darn it, it really is a storytelling, you know, thing.
Yeah.
Like it adds to how the story is told. Storytelling. Wow. Whereas like plot is like almost like the purpose behind the intrigue.
Well, the plot is, you know, if it's like, you know, how the characters intersect with the world, the plot can be moved along by intrigues, but you can also use the same tools of misdirection to fool readers or, you know, viewers or whatever. Like, you know, Lost used to use like flashbacks, and then suddenly, without telling anyone, they were doing flash forwards.
Oh,
you didn't quite know, and you're like, when did this happen?
Right.
And then like, oh, this is a flash forward. You know, and,
They could do that in Purgatory.
Oh my God.
But like you see that in like a lot of stories where they mess with the time frame that you're viewing, or they'll show you something like, what is this? Like Firefly, there's the one episode that starts with Mal naked going like,
yep, and it's standing like
that worked out pretty well, you know. And then you get to the end, and you sense the sarcasm.
Yeah,
and you get to the end, it's like, oh, that did work out pretty well.
Better than expected.
But that's because they went back like 72 hours or something, and
I do like
they actually
that
have 2
show.
episodes like that. Out of Gas is like that too, where he falls on the grate and everything, and then it's like, what the heck's wrong with him? And they pan down, and all of a sudden they see his stomach, and it's just bleeding, you know, and they're like, what the crap happened? You can't start an episode like this. Is Mel dead? Like, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like forcing intrigue on the viewer, but it's because they care so much about Mal at that point.
Yeah.
And
like you said, it's a 4th leg because it's how they told the story.
I mean,
right.
Fight Club.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, like that's all like
Yeah.
one big manipulation of the audience.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's the tools of intrigue, even if you wouldn't say, well, this whole story is an intrigue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
right.
That's an arguable debate, but we don't have to go there.
Sure.
Mhm.
Sure.
But yeah, like I think
I think documentaries actually can be done in this way too, and everything. A lot of times documentaries are straightforward and they just kind of like tell the lives of somebody or like a certain situation and everything. But I've seen documentaries where it's just like, oh my God, the Twin Towers have been hit. I don't know why that's the thing I'm thinking of, but it's just like, what do you mean? And then like they kind of go back and through like what led up to it or stuff like that. And like, so it's like anything really can have a bit of intrigue by the way you tell it and everything, or just like listening to somebody's story. And it's like, yeah, I grew up in this place and everything. And also it's like, and then they said, and then they flash forward to like, oh my God, is she alive? Is like, and there's a scene of a car accident. And then you learn that this person's been in a car accident, and you keep watching because of the intrigue and how they're telling the story of like, this person's life is so interesting that you want to learn more, even if it's kind of mundane or what have you.
Right.
Yeah.
One thing, and I don't want to get, not mean to like make this a big debate, but it
No,
also
go for it.
occurs to me that one thing that might separate an intrigue from just a lie
Sure.
is collaboration with somebody.
Oh,
like you can just lie and manipulate, and like it's still a manipulation, but like
And
is
advance your position.
Is it an intrigue if there's not like people like working together? Like I don't really know.
yeah.
Like even if you're a spy, you're working with someone,
Right.
Even if they're
higher
like
up.
away
Yeah.
from it. Yeah. So that's a whole other.
That might be back to the thing where we're talking about like conspiracy theories and the cults and some of that, because these people, they all collectively believe in this because one person intrigues the other, and then they both go down the rabbit hole, and then they get more people to start like flat earthers, right. These people's like, that's not possible. We never landed on the moon, blah, 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 but you just need to have that one hook or like thing that will get somebody to listen to you.
Right.
And then get them to believe and some people are just better at convincing people. They're just charming, or they're like, the way they say things is a way to convince people, but it takes a salesman sometimes, to do that stuff.
Yeah. It's sort of that good cop, bad cop is a classic intrigue because, they're collaborating with each other to get the perp to answer questions or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's I know we're running low on time, but
no, it's okay.
We're always running out of time, man.
I think that it's intriguing to me that there was more to talk about in this episode than I thought there would be.
Actually, I thought it was funny. Last episode, I thought I'd talk more about, but like this one, I way more. Like I found this to be a lot more deep. So which I always love that, because again, it makes me think about how, like, sometimes we just do this intrinsically and sometimes we just do it without thinking, but it plays such a big part in stories, I really think.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually one of the things. I mean, for those who don't know, I do come up with a lot of topics. And one of the things I look at is what are the things that we take for granted in story?
Sure. Yeah.
And sometimes you're not even meaning to. It's just you're not articulating things separately on its own. Like, what is this thing?
That I do so regularly that I don't even think about, right?
And can we talk about it for 45 minutes to an hour?
Right.
And usually the answer is yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially if you're taking it for granted. There's a lot to talk about.
Fair enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm intrigued by that proposition.
Right. So if you have thoughts on this one, please comment below. We would love that. Or if that scares you a little bit, completely understandable, join our Discord. Join the conversation. We would love to hear your thoughts about this. We might have some that we could potentially add to the Discord too, just because we have a few more notes. Or if you're interested in hearing more about a topic like this, let us know. Let us know on Discord. Let us know your thoughts. We want to, not have Oscar being just the one thinking of
you guys help us.
They come up with stuff. I'm not taking credit for it right now.
Yeah.
If you think of a topic, we'll put your name in the thing.
Ooh, there we go.
Or if you have a theory that I made this topic more intriguing just by leaning in to be heard by the mic, and that got everyone
Just like
interested,
this.
like a posture.
If you talk very
Put that
softly.
in the comments.
ASMR.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining. We are Bars and Balladeers. I am Kate.
I'm Usger.
And I'm Rio.
See ya.
Later.
Bye-bye.